Alright, who's next?
Kilo India 5, Juliet Tango Yankee, short time, no traffic.
Travis, did you say no traffic? I'm not really believing it, but is that what you said?
Holy moly. Yes, I am packing up my child to head to the university this weekend. Unfortunately, I will be packing this evening.
Alright, I just wanted to double check. Well, thank you for checking in. And if you get a chance, you can always jump in if you want. Alright, anybody else want to do a short time?
This is Kilo Fox 5, Delta Papa X-Ray, short time, no traffic.
Alright, Chris. Thank you, sir. Anybody else for short time?
This is
K5 Tango Radio.
Romeo Oscar November, short time, no traffic.
I caught you in there, George. I just don't know. I think you said no traffic. And I did also catch you, Ron, but it was kind of a double. So, George, traffic or no traffic?
Oh, I can have traffic.
Alrighty, how about you, Ron?
For traffic from WW5RON.
Ron, when you key it up there, you're cutting yourself off a little bit, but I think you said no traffic. QSL?
SL, sorry about that. I had two radios on the same frequency and was feeding back on myself. So I short time, no traffic, WW5RON.
Alrighty, got you. Thank you, sir. Anybody else want to get on this first round of short time check-ins?
This is Kilo Golf 5, Lima Alpha Alpha, Steve and Burnett, short time, no traffic.
Alright, Steve. Good to hear you. One of these nights you're going to get in and talk to us some. Alright, anybody else want to get on the short time check-in list?
KD5YPG, no traffic.
Phonetically, so I can make sure I'm correct.
Kilo Delta 5, Yankee Papa Julie.
Kilo Delta 5, Yankee Papa Juliet. And you said no traffic, is that correct? And also, I did not catch the handle.
Name's Cody, no traffic.
Thank you, Cody. Sorry, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and got to make sure I get it right. Anybody else for short time check-in? I think that was K5D, but a couple of you started off at the same time. One of them yielded, but not in time. Was that you, Kyle?
The affirmative, KA5D, no traffic.
Got you in no traffic. And the other station that graciously did not continue to key up, who was that?
Whiskey 4, Lima Delta Oscar Mobile, Jim. Short time, no traffic.
All right, Jim. Appreciate it, man. All right, anybody else?
No traffic.
Hello, George. No traffic. I got you, man. All right, anybody else want to get on this first no traffic list? All right, well, if we get any more check-ins, we will return and add some to it. But let me recognize K5TMT, Matt. Matt, I have one question. I don't know if you said no traffic or not because I didn't write it down. So let me know one more time.
I think technically I said not short time, and I can only give so much confusion to that statement. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of chime in and say it's been a pretty busy week, so I haven't been on the air much. Lots of stuff going on with work. Not bad. Just kind of busy. So hoping to get some rest and relaxation in this upcoming North American QSO party this weekend, and hope to hear some others on there.
Well, that's cool beans, man. If you want to, we can move you to the full timers. I just wasn't sure because of the confusion with DMR at first, but you're more than welcome to stay. And if you want, as a matter of fact, when we start full time, I'll see if anybody has anything they want to talk to you about. And in case y'all didn't know, K5TMT, Matt is our new club secretary. And so, as we like to say, anybody got any problems, get a hold of Matt. Next on the list, on DMR, W5WTH, Pat. Are you still with us?
Yes, sir, Sammy, I am. Thanks for running that, and thanks for sorting out the DMR. I have two things. One is I'd like to say thanks for everybody who joined us. Really enjoying that. That happens right before this net from 7:30 to 8, and we're usually on 80 meters at 3532. And it's good fun. We had probably, I think, maybe 6 or 8 people there tonight. The next thing I'd like to say is the Light Up 2 Meters night. I just saw it scheduled for Sunday, August 30th from 6 to 8 local time. That was good fun last year. So it's on the 30th, 6 to 8, Light Up 2 Meters. Hopefully some of the Okies can be on there and make some simplex QSOs. Back to that, W5WTH.
Well, when you get time, Pat, remind everybody on announcements or something. But yeah, a lot of people enjoy Light Up 2 Meter night. And we heard every word you said, Pat, on the DMR. And appreciate you checking in. Next on the list, we've got K7 Tango Delta Romeo Trevor. He had no traffic. And we acknowledge W5 DMB Sarah with no traffic. And next is KI5 JTY Juliet Tango Yankee. That's Travis, and he has no traffic. Next on the list, KF5 Delta Papa X-Ray Chris. And I don't have no traffic wrote down. Are you still with us, Chris? That's no. I put you down for a no. All right, next on the list, K5TR George. What are y'all doing, man?
Well, not a whole lot. I checked Sarah in via FaceTime. She's a remote operating sort of station here in the big city. Anyway, not much going on. Working on some remote things with my son. Remote radio things for the station. And what else? Somebody's going to use my remote station this weekend in the NAQPCW contest. Everybody should get on. Starts at 1 noon? No, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. and goes until 1 a.m. You can operate a maximum of 10 hours as a single op. And the exchange is it's call sign, and then your exchange is your name and your state. So that's all on CW this weekend. And a couple of weekends it'll be on sideband. So if you can get on the radio, it should be some good stuff going on HF on Saturday. And other than that, not much else. N5TXR and the net, K5TR.
Well, that's pretty cool stuff. You know, it reminded me of something. We actually do have a calendar of events on the website, but I don't think it's correct, or I don't think it's fluid. I don't know if it's running and got the events up to date or not, but I was looking for somebody that I might could give access to the website that could keep either that calendar going or create our own calendar with events that members may be interested in. This is N5TXR on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. So anyway, George, that gave me an opportunity to kick that out there. So if you got any more further comments or suggestions or whatever, let me know.
Well, for contest things, it's not worth keeping your own calendar these days. This guy, WA7 Bravo, Nancy Mike, DNM, he's created the ultimate contest calendar online. And it's consumable in all kinds of different ways, and it's amazing. So a link to that's all you need, really. It's really good because he has an 8-day version and a year version and all kinds of stuff. And he's figured out how to manage to get all the contests on the right dates, which is always a challenge because most contests are last full weekend of the month and second full weekend of the month, things like that. So you know when they are every year. Anyway, that's it. K5.
Well, we do have that on the resources page of the website, but I think there was something going on with it. I'm just not sure. But anyway, we always appreciate hearing somebody remind people. Maybe they'll get on. Appreciate it, George. Next, let's see, WW5RON with no traffic. That's Ron. And next we had KG5LAA. That's Steve. Both of them guys are up in the Northland. Next, Kilo Delta 5, Yankee Papa Juliet, Cody with no traffic. Next was KA5D, Kyle with no traffic. Next we had W4 Lincoln Delta Oscar Jim with no traffic. And finally on that list we have WB5TXW George with no traffic. And that is the end of that short timers list, which is now when we give club announcements and such. And George just give us a little rundown of contests coming up. The only thing I have, let me let it drop, is the making sure everybody was up to date on the 441775. Going to be moved in mid-August to its new location, which should have very superior coverage to what it has now. And I'm hoping we can use that as a standalone analog UHF repeater for people to, I kind of want to regenerate our drive time and all that. I think a lot of people are hesitant not to get on the Oak because of all its linked situations, which, it's hard for everybody to follow. So on the UHF, if there's any drive timers or just chit-chatters or whatever, feel free to use that UHF repeater in just your rag-chew, chit-chat type situations. And then that way, if you're worried about people not being able to get into the Oak, they will be, because we're not going to link the UHF except for net nights. Let me let it drop again. So that's coming mid-August. We've got everything, all the logistics and the hardware together, and we're trying to get that on the air in the middle of August. And that's about the only thing, except to make sure everybody congratulates K5TMT, Matt, and KG5DRT, you all know Jake. When you hear them next time for them winning their elections and taking over secretary and treasurer, respectively. All right, let's see if anybody else wants to check in on short time. No short timers. And one more shot for short timers. All right, we'll move on to full timers. And make sure, if, like I said before, if I haven't talked to you a lot, not familiar with the call, please give it phonetically and give me the handle, please. All right, who wants to check in?
This is November 5, Sugar Mike Oscar, Bill, North Austin.
Good evening, Bill. All right, who's next?
This is Kilowatt 5, Bravo, Zulu, India. The name here is Ray. I don't have a handle. My name is Ray, and I'm in South Austin, Texas. I'll repeat that for you in case you couldn't write it down fast enough. Kilowatt 5, Bravo, Zulu, India. You got it?
I was looking to see if my camera was on. See how hard you got me laughing. Well, so you brought that issue up, so I'll give you a little background on that. The old timers, older than us, would always call a name a handle until the use of the word handle became popular and synonymous with Citizens Band Radio. And then they didn't say handle near as much as they used to. Just FYI there, Ray. All right, who's next that wants to check in?
Well, if you want, my handle's the Razor. You can call me the Razor. Over.
That would be on another band, another time, another place.
This is AG5SJ Micah, and I refuse to call Ray Razor. GTF. Out of here with that.
Oh, I wasn't even going to say the word. All right, who's next? We're looking for full-time check-ins.
Whiskey Zulu 5, Bravo, Bravo, Sierra, Rusty on the 320.
Hello, Rusty. You still in Florida?
Roger, roger.
All right, we'll get to you in a minute. I know you'll be hanging out, waiting on a Zoom invite or something. All right, who's next?
This is P5 Tango November, Dripping Springs on the 927075.
W5TN on the 900 machine. The really nice, clear sounding 900 megahertz standalone repeater located at the University of Texas with a very good coverage. And did you say no traffic?
Oh, I can have some traffic if we want.
All right, got you. All right, who else wants to check in?
KK6RUM.
Well, good evening, Jenner. Got you in there. Anybody else? We may have some weak signal guys on tonight. or something along those lines. Anybody else want to check in on the first round? Bring a call sign now.
This is Kilo Charlie 5, Hotel Uniform, November. The next is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike.
All right, this is the Hun. Kilo Charlie 5, Hotel Uniform, Norway. Is that QSL?
Well, and I just got a little question I need to ask.
Okay, go ahead, Jim. And you're barely making it, got some static on you, but you are making it in.
Well, I'm coming from northeast Vernon County, so that's not too surprising. But you mentioned a website a little bit ago, but you've never mentioned what the title of it is. Could you give me that so I can look you up?
I sure can. It is at N5OAK.org. And there's a list of repeaters and all that stuff on there. And Jim, are you coming into the 320 machine or the 250 machine?
No, I'm coming into the 250 because I just found it a couple of days ago, and I hadn't heard about the 320 until tonight.
Okie dokie. Well, yeah, you can look on that on the front page. You'll see all the analog repeaters. And then there's some other stuff on there. You can look at All-Star Connections on the resources page. It's not a real detailed website, but it gives you some information. And we're always glad to hear somebody coming in from up there in the northern lands. And also any suggestions that you have to the website, since I know you're going there, be sure to let me know. All right, next. Anybody else want to check in on this first round? Well, I didn't get that. I only got a couple little bits of it. Can you try it again?
Sure. Alpha Golf. The name is Randy. On the 320, I'm in Northwest Austin.
Hey, Randy, there was another guy trying to get in. I keyed up probably right about the same time you did. And I know who you are, but give me the first part of the call again, please.
Kilo Charlie 3, November, Alpha Golf. Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear anybody.
How are you coming in, Randy? What are you using to get in?
I'm coming in on 320. I'm in Northwest Austin.
Roger that. Yeah, there was a weak guy trying to get in right before that, and I didn't pull out any of it. But I got you squared away there. Let me see if that other station wants to try to get in again. You're kind of weak. I heard a couple of syllables, and that was about it. Here in a little bit. All right, let me do one more check to see if anybody wants to check in on the first round.
KT5 DYM.
Well, good evening, Mikey. Hope we didn't disturb your nap. Anybody else on the first round? All righty, well, we'll give it a rest on the first round there. Pretty good little run there. And just so everybody will know, there are two ways to find out about all the connections. You can go to our website, which I just gave Jim a minute ago, the N5OAK.org. And on the resources page is a live bubble map, which will give you all the connections and where they lead and where they're at. And most of them are marked if they're a repeater or if they're a node. They will tell you on the bubble map. That's one way you can tell. Now, another way is you could go to ka5d.com. That's Kyle's website. And he has a lot of information and bubble mat links to his system, which we connect to every Thursday, 10 minutes before the net starts. So those are the two ways. And also, while I'm here, if anybody has any questions, comments, wants to join our Slack channel, our Slack workspace, drop us a line at oharc.n5oak@gmail.com. I'll give that out a few times tonight. And that address and all that information is also on the website, the aforementioned N5OAK.org. All right, with that, let me ID one more time, and we'll get started on that first list. This is N5TXR, and this is the Thursday night Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club net. Brought to you over the N5OAK and the KA5D repeater systems. And the first station up on tonight's list is Brother Bill, N5SMO. What you got, Bill?
Hey, Sammy. Thanks for refereeing the bout tonight. Got my oven-controlled crystal oscillator reference board hooked up to the 9700 and tested it out with Jake, and it looks like it did a great job controlling some of the drift issues on the digi modes that are the real narrow bandwidth modes that need super high frequency stability. And thanks to Jenner for calibrating it and for the power supply that he gave me to use for it. And thanks to Jake for doing the testing. We still need to try 1.2 gig, got some antenna issues to work out there before we can get a two-way going with that. But 70 centimeters looks great. Huge improvement. And that's all I have. Back to you, Sammy, N5SMO.
Oh, you fell right into my little spider web. Okay, point by point. What I was talking to Jenner, yesterday, or I think I might have said something to Jake too. And, I know the history of all these frequency stabilizing product. I just want to know, how do you know that you were drifting if somebody hadn't told you you were drifting? How did both of y'all on identical radios know that you were drifting and therefore needed that?
When you can see the other station on the waterfall, and the waterfall, the signal, instead of being vertical, is a curve, and you're not decoding the signal coming back from the other guy, and then he's telling you he's seeing the same thing on his waterfall when you're sending that. That's how we found out.
Now, what mode is this in?
It was in FT8 mode, and I think it needs like 6 or 8 hertz stability to successfully decode in that mode.
Just so everybody will know, because y'all have the same radio, have you noticed any kind of drifting or walking or any kind of frequency shifting when you're using phone?
No, not noticeable in sideband or CW. Yes, I did notice it on 70 centimeter CW, where I'd have to touch up the frequency, and then after I'd transmit when my rig was warm, and then while listening it would drift and I'd move it, and after transmitting again I'd have to move it back. So yeah, I noticed it on CW, but never on phone have I noticed it.
Well, I was really just curious about it. Now, can you give the full name of that device again? Make sure everybody knows it. And I'm even writing it down.
Well, I don't know the specifics of it. Jake got it for me, and he ordered it, and it's an oven-controlled crystal oscillator board was about less than $60. And it's about the size of a pack of cigarettes with a big silver can on it. Where I have it mounted right now, I can't really get to it without taking the radio down and everything here that I'm talking on, but I could get the details for that on who makes it and everything and post it up in Slack.
Well, I was just trying to get because people had called it different things. And I'm sure Jenner can tell us later on down the road here. But I just wanted, I was just trying to get y'all to think about floating, moving, drifting, and if it, how where is the ground zero, you know what I'm saying? It's the only way you know if you're on a certain frequency is if you hear the other guy, is my way of doing it. But I don't know. All right, I've taken up enough time from Bill. Anybody got any questions, comments, or anything like that for Bill? All right, Bill. Well, yeah, I've been curious about it and want to know, it's like chicken and the egg, if you think about it. All right, next on the list, K5BZI, that'd be Ray. He last year won the most valuable net control operator at the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. I believe that was the fall meeting. Ray, what you got for us?
Yeah, hey, Sammy, this is K5BZI stroke MVNCO. Before I get started, I wanted to say it sounded like there was a double there on your last transmission, so I'll let go to that double and have to come back. Go ahead.
Do you think it was Bill or somebody else?
It sounded like it might have been Bill. Bill, did you say something?
Negative, it wasn't me.
All right, well, we'll see if they key back up. But thank you, Ray, for letting me know. What's going on in your world? Why aren't you home?
Well, so fact of the matter is, so I've had a big radio week this week, so I have a lot to say. First of all, I am home now, but I didn't get home until a few minutes after 8, so I wasn't prepared to host tonight. So first of all, thanks for hosting it, Sammy. It's always fun giving you a hard time. And I'd like to make a shout out, first of all, to the CW net that happens right before this net at 7:30 on 80 meters. If you guys are interested, I almost was able to check in last week via CW. I could hear him loud and clear from my shack here in South Austin, but I wasn't able, and I'm still not able for whatever reason, to transmit via CW through my rig, and I haven't quite worked that out yet. Let it drop. Also, I'd like to make a shout out to the Tuesday night Southside Simplex net that happens every Tuesday night on 146.555. It is a Simplex net hosted by us down here in South Austin, so if you think you can make it in, please try so. I'm sorry I missed you guys this week, but I'll definitely see you next week. And it's been a lot of fun because we've been integrating video chat with Zoom with that, so it's been a lot of fun. So check us out on that. I'll let it drop. Next on my list for this week, I'd like to say shout out to KE5D for giving me a great deal on a 900 megahertz radio. I haven't had a chance to set it up yet. I don't have an antenna, and so I'm in the market for one. So if anyone's got a 900 megahertz antenna collecting dust, hit me up because I might be willing to take it off your hands. Let it drop. And lastly, I picked up a Mirage 1010 UHF amplifier for a good deal on the interwebs this week. And it arrived today, and I found out why it was such a good deal because there was a sticker on the bottom that says, doesn't work. So I haven't had a chance to hook it up and test it yet, but we'll see. And so if anyone has any line on someone who might be able to repair that amp for me, I'd be interested in hearing about that as well. And with that, that pretty much sums up my ham radio for the week. And thanks again, Sammy, for hosting. And yeah, back to you, Sammy. Thanks again. K5BZI, back to net.
Well, you know, I'm writing all this down by hand and taking notes, so I think that's why you throw in so many subjects. Firstly, it's a likely story that you just got in. Secondly, on the 900 megahertz, are you looking for a base antenna or a mobile antenna? And lastly, what was the amp that you got with the sticker on it?
The Mirage UHF 1010 amp, 10 watts in, 150 out, I think it is. The one you have, Sammy. I got one online for cheap, and it showed up today, and then when it showed up, it had a sticker on it that said doesn't work. Again, I haven't had a chance to test it, so maybe it does. Who knows? But I bought it from a non-ham website, so likely it does work. They just didn't know what they were doing. But again, I haven't had a chance to test it. So if anybody, and if it doesn't work, I'll be looking for someone to repair it for me. And as far as the antenna goes, you know what I could do with a mobile? A mobile will work. I'll just get a little ground plane kit and set it up that way. But if anyone's got one secondhand, save me a few bucks. I'm interested. Over.
Well, I have, amongst a lot of other people, have a Comet KP20, which will cost you about as much as the radio did. So they're equally valuable. You got to have the radio to need the antenna. You got to have the antenna to run the radio. So I bought one of those, and I think Mikey has one. I think Kyle has one. There's a lot of people have them. In fact, I think Kyle uses it for the repeater antenna. They're great antennas. And yeah, you need to hook that up, man, and find out. And what did you say you paid for it?
$5. Fact of the matter is, if you're using it, it's no use to me. I need one that's not being used, and just, you know, I'm open. I'm in the market, so hit me up. If anyone's got an antenna that'll work with this radio I have sitting on my desk, that thank you again, Kyle, for giving me a good deal on, I'd be glad to interest in an opportunity there for paying for an antenna. Over.
All right. Well, you know, that brings up something else that I wanted to talk to everyone about tonight. But first, let me see if anybody out there has got anything for K5BZI Ray /MBNCO. Anybody got anything for him out there?
KK6RUM.
Go ahead, Jenner.
Hey, Sammy, Ray in the net. Let's see, Ray, wondering if you're looking for any antenna that will get you into a repeater, in which case I think I might know where a Yagi is that will help you from your QTH get into one or more of the 900 FM repeaters around town. So maybe you can come back and let me know. Omnidirectional or just any way to get in?
Yeah, you know, that's actually a good point. I think I'd prefer omnidirectional. There are quite a few 900 megahertz repeaters in the area. I'll probably more likely at the end of the day wind up latching onto one and not venturing far. So a Yagi would work, but I think I'd rather have something a little more omnidirectional to start with, considering I've never played with 900 megahertz before. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, really good. So I'll send you a message via Slack with what I know. KK6RUM, back to net.
Well, you know, Ray, you were saying there's lots of 900 repeaters, but a lot of those are on the same network, on the K5TRA network. And you can look that up, his network, on his website. K5TRA.net. And I'd love for you to be able to have a Yagi high enough that you could point over to the University of Texas and talk on this fine 9270750, which can be used for just general talk and chit chat and rag chewing, because the other one kind of leans toward the technical side of things, and most of the 900 repeaters you see listed are all on that system.
Yeah, roger that. And like I say, yeah, and that UT repeater was probably the one that I'll wind up ripping the knob off at, just like I've ripped the knob off my radio on this frequency. Yeah. So yeah, if I get a good deal on a Yagi, I might start there. Yeah, back to net.
Oh, we could probably whip one of them up for you. And that reminds me, while I have you here and Bill, before I go on any further, I'd like y'all's opinions or thoughts on if we set aside a portion of the net, say like every other net, to conduct a little swap meet. Do you think members would be interested in that? Would y'all be interested in it? And everybody that's coming on tonight, give me some sort of opinion about that. I don't want to copy the big club and have a full-blown, list of things. Just guys that are looking for stuff or have something they want to get rid of that they've talked about before. Something along those lines. What's your thoughts, Ray?
I like that idea a lot. I think after regular check-ins, right before sign-off, we might jump into a quick, swap net portion. I like that idea a lot, actually. Regular check-ins are done. Before we sign the net off, is there anyone who has anything from the swap net? If so, come now. And then maybe if the swap net goes 10 or 15 minutes, maybe we do another round of check-ins afterwards, right? Kill a little time. I like that idea a lot. Back to you, Sammy. K5BZI.
Yeah, I've been tossing around. I didn't want to try to make a big old thing, where it's nothing but swap net. So, if people had something, maybe they can say when they check in that they also have something for the swap net or something like that. And then, like you said, we can find a little spot to fit it in. So I'll see what everybody else thinks. Let's see, Bill, since you were the first on the full-time check-ins, do you have an opinion about SwapNet on the net?
Yeah, Roger, I was exactly going to say exactly the same thing that Ray did as far as putting it at the end of a net. And I like it because the Slack channel for swap nets doesn't lend itself for going back and finding stuff because it gets buried in comments and you only can go back so far with all the comments that show up on stuff. I think it's a great idea. Back to net, N5SMO.
All right, I got 2 yeses out of y'all, and I appreciate it. So I'll see what everybody else thinks. All right, Ray. Appreciate you coming by and laying on the info on us. Let me check. Before we leave from Ray, has anybody else out there got a question or comment or anything for Ray?
K5JM with comments.
Go ahead, Sam.
Hey Ray, it's Sam, K5JM. I just wanted to give a shout out for Ray. Ray sent me something in the mail, and it was a great laugh that I much appreciated, much needed. He sent me this graduation gift, and if you want to know what it looks like, I'm going to post it to the Slack channel on Thursday Night Net. But it gave me a good little laugh there. And also, Ray, as far as 900 antennas go, I'm going to send a link to you. And then also, I don't know if Jenner is talking about the same antenna that I am. I had a 900 Yagi that I had acquired for free. And eventually, when I set my All-Star node, I switched from the Yagi to an Omni. And so I gave the Yagi to Jake. And I don't know if Jake ever did anything with it, but it was free to him. So maybe if he's not using it, maybe it could be free to you. But otherwise, yeah, you can find little cheap Omnis online for like $30. which is what I have in the attic right now. But if you get further into that, you might even be able to hear the 900 simplex node Vermeer, so who knows? It's usually always running. So just thought I'd toss it out there. Back to net. K5JM.
I was leaving it open for Ray there. Maybe he's contemplating, Sam. But if you like, I'll check you in on the next round. Y'all can talk about it further. All right, let's go to the next station on the list. That happens to be Alpha Golf 5 Sierra Juliet. Micah, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you. This is AG5SJ. I'm sitting staring at my screen and trying not to let my eyes fall asleep. I think my shack is is one of my offices, the one without a wall, which the lighting in it is kind of poor, and every time I sit down in here, it just makes my eyes sleepy. So I got really nothing going on. So back to net, and thanks for running it, and good to hear everyone talking. AG5SJ.
Well, do you have a preference on yes or no on SwapNet?
I don't know that I have a preference, but a somewhat serious thought is that is a way to potentially continue elongating the net each week. Kind of similar to multiple exam questions. Going into, okay, we're gonna see who's got anything to swap. Okay, well, after we talked about swapping things for 5 minutes, let's go back for regular check-ins. I'm not suggesting this is a bad thing, only that it is a thing.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have it when Jake's doing the net, going for a record and stretching it out. Maybe we could, that's why I said maybe every other week. But I'll put you down as a maybe thing on my list here. All right, anybody got anything for Micah out there?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, first of all, I just wanted to say I totally agree with what Mike is saying. Any traffic on the net on Thursday nights is fun to listen to regardless of what it is. So anything that elongates that net is probably a good thing. And you reminded me, Sammy, of one of the things I had on my call out list that I forgot, and I wanted to call out to Jake for doing a just bang up job last week. I mean, that net went 3+ hours. We had something like 40+ check-ins. It was huge, and that is a huge milestone for those of you who are new to this net. Those of you who've been listening to the net for a long time. That was a big deal and a lot of fun to listen to. And thank you, Jake, KG5DRT, for doing such a great job. I've done the net a lot. Hang on, let me let it drop. Sorry for going so long, but this was one of my biggest call-outs, and I forgot to mention it during my time. So thanks, Sammy, for giving me the time. I just want to say that was a big deal, and it was a lot of fun to listen to. And for those of you who've never hosted the net, it takes a lot to hang on for 3+ hours. 40+ check-ins, and I just wanted to really just shout out to Jake for that. So, again, I agree with what Micah just said, and hey, Micah, how you doing, bud? And big shout out to Jake. K5BZI, back to that.
Well, I gave him a little bit of props at the first of the net, Ray. I did mention that he's probably recovering his throat and other parts of his body from the momentous effort from last week. I did mention it, but yes, it was a record-breaking, earth-shattering net last week. Oh, and anybody else got anything for Micah before we leave? Or Micah, do you have a retort?
I don't really have a response, no.
Okay, I'm gonna write down here something. I'll tell you about it later. All right, let me get an ID in. This is N5TXR on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net on the N5OAK and the KA5D systems. And we are about halfway down on full-time check-ins, and The next up on the list is WZ5 Bravo Bravo Sierra. Rusty, you still with us?
Yes, sir. Good to hear you on the net, Sammy. I've been working on anything but my tan. I'm still hanging out in Florida on the beach, so Stella has been treating me well, and not a whole lot to report, but yeah, thanks for running the net. Good to hear you, and as always, it's fun playing on the net from Florida. So other than that, as far as the swap meet goes, I'm going to have to agree with the Razor, so put me down for yes. Back to net.
He got somebody to call him Razor. I just don't know what to think about it. All right, I got you down for a yes. And, you know, there's a lot of people listening on the net more than actually check in and stuff. So, you know, you can give yourself a plug for how you're getting into the net. In case some of them haven't heard, because, you know, I've talked it up so much. But remind folks how you're getting into the net tonight.
I have a hot air balloon between Florida and Texas with omnidirectional, and they are hanging out at a certain location, and I'm beaming in all the way from Indian Rocks Beach.
Well, I was talking about something that wasn't so facetious.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yes, sir. I am coming in on the ICOM software, controlling my 9700 with no oven baked goodies on it, but we're still getting in just fine on the mothership 320.
All righty. Well, I'm still impressed in the audio quality with all the things it has to do to get here. But some of y'all that don't know, he's got some software that he runs on his laptop with a microphone, and he is operating remotely his radio at his QTH, which is connected to the via RF. So that's pretty cool. Anybody got anything for Rusty out there? All righty. Well, I'm glad you joined us from Florida, and I didn't send out any invites, but I thought if somebody wanted to get on, we could do it later. But my XYL is supposed to be here sometime tonight, so I'm not sure if I could do a late night on Zoom. All right, next up, W5TN. David, are you coming through on 900? Is this correct?
Hey, Sammy in the net. This is W5TN. Yep, coming in on the 927.075 repeater. Loud and clear out here in Dripping Springs. Doing good out here. Busy week working and packing up my daughter for, she's headed off to university, headed off to college in the week after next. So, got a lot of busy stuff going on here. And I guess that's about it. Go ahead.
Well, we'll have to talk about getting in from Dripping Springs on 900. Tell people what you're using.
Well, I'm using a one of the Kenwood radios, just like KA5D sold, and I'm using a vertical antenna on the top of my tower.
And this tower is at what? AGL?
It's probably around 1,500 feet, a little bit higher.
Oh. Well, even for your great location and height, it's still doing really well into the 900 machine. I don't know what that distance is, but it's better than most people can do on 900 around here in town. So that is some super fine business. Anybody out there got anything for David N5TXR on the Thursday night net.
N5OAK with a
1500
question there.
MSL, not AGL. It's like 40 feet AGL.
All right, there was a little double there, and I heard both of you with the magic of All Star, and I believe Justin had a question for you, David.
So I'm just curious, just in your opinion, I'm up here at about 980 feet. I think I'm like 980 feet ASL, and I'll be putting up a 900 megahertz vertical on Sunday. It'll be up, 30 foot in the air, I think. Is it realistic that I can get into the 900 machine using that method?
Yeah, what part of town are you in?
I am here. Oh, I'm here in North Austin, just south of, like, I can spit across 620 and be in Cedar Park.
Oh, yeah. I would think so, unless you're down in a hole or anything. Luckily, I'm way up on a hill, and yeah, my hill, the base of my hill at the top is almost 1480 or 1480. But yeah, you should be fine. I would think.
No, I mean, I'm excited, right? Because you know, I've got a couple of Motorola 9250, or I've got a 9250 and a TK7, TK981, and then I've got a node built by K5TR8, which, you know, it'll be nice to be able to try to get in here and make all that work. So I'm kind of partial to 900. I do enjoy it. This is N5OAK.
Sounds good. Well, I'm fairly new to 900 over the past couple of months. That is, works out really good for me. All right, Sammy, back to the net, W5TN.
All right, appreciate it. And that's a real good example of what goes on here. People talking back and forth with those who need to know and those who are still remembering details and stuff and helping everybody out. And by the way, as Justin can tell you and Mikey can tell you and a lot of other guys can tell you that there's a lot of fellows in our club that are willing to come out and help with things and get things facilitated. It's a little tougher in the times we're living in now, but if anybody needs any help with anything, circulate it through, and more than likely you will get the help that you're looking for. All right, this is N5TXR, and we are going down the list of full-time check-ins. And David, you did not tell me yay or nay on SwapNet.
Oh, I think it'd be a good idea. So that would be a yay for me, I think.
All righty, appreciate it. All right, next up on the list, one of them six-landers, y'all be nice. KK6RUM. Jenner, are you still with us?
Sammy, good evening again. That good to hear you running to that tonight, Sammy. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, still here. Not a whole lot of radio news. I was the one who doubled earlier. I was going to give Bill a comment. Congratulations. I think you got that up and running. And that's about it. Not much traffic here tonight. KK6RUM, back tonight.
Well, just so you'll know, your audio is really low. I don't know if it's microphone or something else, but I made out pretty much what you said. And Bill, did you copy?
Roger. I got that, Sammy. Thanks, Jenner.
And Jenner, you have done radio stuff. I got an image of you coming up on my front porch today and swapping out some stuff. See, Jenner and I did a swap net on the front porch and didn't even have to talk to each other. And I really appreciate it, Jenner. That's going to help us get the UHF up and running. And what's your opinion on SwapNet? Oh, maybe twice a month on the net.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I agree that, I might hang up the microphone before it's over some nights, but I'll enjoy listening most nights. Let's see, also meant to give a shout out to Kyle, KA5D, for the use of his repeater system. Earlier I was coming in on his UHF machine. Not sure why the audio is low. I'm coming into the 147.320 machine now, so hopefully I've got full audio.
Yep, you do now. Much better.
Okay, very good. Well, KK6RUM, back to net.
All right, Jenner, and I do appreciate you swapping those out with me, and hope you can find a use for them. Anybody else got anything for Jenner out there before we leave? All righty. Well, let's see. Next on the list, Kilo Charlie 5, Hotel Uniform, Norway. Jim, are you still with us? Well, we'll check back and see. He might have had to jump out. Next on the list, Randy. I believe it's Kilo Charlie 3, November, Alpha Golf. And correct me if I'm wrong, Randy.
Hey there, Sammy. This is KC3 NAG. You got it totally perfect. Couple things. I used to do backup net control for the Monday night New Hams net that's on 146.640, 8 o'clock Monday nights. So I got a little experience, running the net and doing backup mostly. And this relates to adding a swap net to your net. If you were, I think you would definitely have to add it on to the end of the net, because otherwise it's kind of going to be a mess. But no doubt, obviously, there's a lot of people interested into it. I don't know if you're up to doing it a different IH, but these are all things to be considered. Let me let it rest for a sec. On another note, being that I am up in northwest Austin, but Cedar Park, Round Rock, Georgetown area, on Sunday nights on 146.940, Sunday nights 9 o'clock, there is a swap net up here. So at least there's another opportunity for people if they can reach the signal up to here. This is KC3 NAG. The only other thing I got to say is my 4020 dipole fell down, but I replaced the paracord, so maybe I should use something better. But hey, it's been up for a year and a half. It worked. KC3 NAG, back to you, Sammy.
Well, a year and a half is not too bad. Yeah, I've run across the same thing. And year and a half is pretty good. Well, yeah, we're aware of the one on the big club repeater and didn't want to quite do it so formally. People say during the net, hey, I've got something I'm going to put on SwapNet later. Then, people will hang around and, we'll let them give out what they're trying to get rid of or what they're looking for or whatever. and not have a full-time set-aside deal, but it could help people move stuff, and it also could help people, hang around and get more interest and coming to the net on Thursday nights. Which anything we do there is always good. And I appreciate you, Randy. And let me see if anybody out there has got anything for Randy. And also, Randy, are you on our Slack workspace?
Hey, Sammy. I barely know what Slack workspace is, so a little info there would be cool too. But also, I know, hey, run the SwapNet like every other week near the end because people like to buy, swap, and sell. You can get into technical things. I mean, we used to do that on the New Hamsnet, so not a worry, man.
All right, well, I'll explain a little bit about Slack. It's developed out by the Silicon Valley boys out there as a group private chat set up. Their team of development or whatever they're working on uses that to talk back and forth. So you can get an account, and all it really is private chat. You have to be invited to it. And we had some trouble with a lot of bogus invites and things like that. So now if you want to get on it, you just send a request to get on Slack to the email address for the club, which is oharc.n5oak@gmail.com. There's a little bit of a vetting process, and then we'll send you your invite. You can get on Slack, and a lot of discussions, including net control situations and things like that. If you want to try to do some backup stuff or anything like that, just drop us a line there at that Gmail address.
All right, Sammy. Thank you for that info. I'll definitely send you an email and see if I can get on there. And who knows? Who knows? I like radio and I like helping people. So, and I'm really happy with the 320 being back up and operating. Man, like it's a beautiful repeater. So enough about all that, I guess. KC3 and AG back to net control.
All right, Randy. Well, we appreciate you dropping by. Also, to let everybody else know, anybody that was interested in the Slack workspace, it's just a general workspace. That's the terminology they use. And people that join different channels on it, there's all kinds of different channels that you could, whatever your interest is, anywhere from All Star to Field Day stuff to VHF and Up channels, SwapNet channels, a bunch of different ones that you can peruse and join the ones you want to and go back and forth with a bunch of the members. And we have at this time somewhere in the neighborhood of 260 members. So I don't know how many of them are active, but there's a lot of them on Slack. So before we leave, anybody else got anything for Randy out there? All righty, appreciate it, Randy. Next on the list is KG5GYM. Mikey, are you awake at the present moment?
Well, I am. I might mention that these interminably long nets are kind of hard on the narcoleptics, but, what can you say? There's also an open Zoom meeting, but I'm the only person on there. Other than that, as far as radio, I've been, messing with this, that, get a duplexer and for the 2000 so I can just switch between UHF and VHF at will. Then I started messing around with the ALC, and you know how to just turn that off on the 2000, Sammy?
Well, I don't recall, but I know you can on the 590. But I'd have to turn it on, and but I think you can. But I'm not 100% sure. I know you can on the 590. But make sure you got your volume turned down if you ever try it.
Yeah, right. I just haven't found out how to do it yet. And I also, now that I think about it, had the preamp on while I was messing with it, and that probably doesn't help that any. But yeah, we'll see. Other than that, not a whole lot going on out here in Paradise. Back to net.
Well, now that you got your UHF antenna back to working, what kind of signal are you getting on the 441775?
It sounds a little dirty, just a little bit, but I get in there just PCE, it seems to be no problem whatsoever. Of course, there's no point in my going to the 775 since it's linked to the other one. But yeah, no, I can open that thing up. Really, I'm pretty surprised at how well I get into, I get into the 325 with absolutely no issues whatsoever. And Gene's machine down there in Wimbledon, I mean, every 440 machine I've got programmed, and some that I don't even know what the heck they are, I open them up, and there's nobody there. But yeah, that's all working really well.
Yeah, I figured it would be kind of dirty. I just wasn't sure if you got a decent signal on it, like at least an S8 or so. But you'll be getting a lot better when we get it moved over there. All right, anybody out there got anything for Mikey? All right, man. Well, you can go back to napping. And that is the end of the first round of check-ins. Now, there is a couple of guys that came in with questions, and I didn't know if they wanted to get in on the second round or not. Well, let me ID again. This is N5TXR on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net. And we're going to open up for another round of full-time check-ins. Let me check first with K5JM. Are you wanting to get in on this round, Sam?
This is K5JM. Hey, Sammy, having to say, yeah, you can check me in with no traffic there. Not too much going on this week, but appreciate it. Back to you. K5JM.
All right, got you in for no traffic, but you didn't give a yay or nay on swapping that high deal.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Why not? Back to you, K5JM.
I can hear the excitement in your throat. Well, since you said no traffic, I'll still check and see, does anybody got any questions or anything for Sam? All right, Sam, appreciate it, man. And next, I wanted to check with Alpha India 5, Oscar Sierra. Justin, did you want me to check you in as well?
Yeah, go ahead and definitely check me in.
All right, we got you in there. And I'll get another list going here. And Justin, if you want anything you want to address the rest of the net, you can go ahead and do it right now.
I want to say thanks, for everything y'all do, man. Y'all are folks I call friends, and I appreciate all the help and support I've been given, getting my stuff up and everything else, and y'all let me get in on Zoom and everything else, and this is like ham radio happy hour, as it were. just getting a chance to hang out and do something camaraderie with y'all, and so on and so forth. And I am an absolute yes, hands down, would love to have a swap net. I think it'd be great. So cool. This is N5OAK, back to net.
All right, Justin. Well, we'll see if we can figure out a way to do it that would make people want to participate and not interfere with the rest of the net. Anybody got anything for Justin out there? All right, Justin, appreciate you checking in, man. Well, we're taking check-ins for round 2. So if anybody else wants to check in, bring me a call sign and name now. And as before, if I don't know you real well, give it to me phonetically and I'll get it wrote down right the first time. Second round check-ins, bring in call sign now.
This is Kilo India 5, Juliet Tango Yankee. Recheck.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Tango.
KJ5 Tango. All right, who's next?
This is Kilo Bravo 5 Mike Papa Juliet Jason and Buda.
Hello, Jason. Who's next? All right, we're taking check-ins for the second round of the Thursday night net. Anybody else want to check in?
KI5JTY. Not sure you heard me, Sammy.
Yes, I did. I had somebody right behind you. I heard you on the recheck. Anybody else want to check in on the second round? All right, let's go back. We got a recheck. I have to make sure we got that wrote down there. KA5JTY, go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Sammy. I'm going to take excuse. I went about 30 flights of stairs back and forth loading my son's U-Haul trailer this evening in 62% humidity, soupy weather. I wrapped up about a half hour ago and I've been listening in. Yeah, so before the net started, everybody, Sammy said that, he was going for a check-in competition because Jake did such an amazing job. And when I came back to the radio, everybody was saying how much we love Jake. And, we all love that Jake is amazing, his discipline, his approach. But we all have to agree that Sammy has the voice of an angel.
Oh, I don't know what kind of angel that is, but, I love doing the Jake nets too. I'm sure he's recuperating. I'm pretty sure he is. But since you rechecked, I'll check and see if anybody out there has got anything for Travis. And Travis, yay or nay on SwapNet?
Absolutely. I'm just getting started. I'm looking for a lot of equipment. I'm always tempted to ask people if they've got anything laying around. So I'd love a conversation on that on a consistent basis.
All right, I wrote you down. We're going to work up some way to do it, try to incorporate it instead of taking it over, and we'll see how it goes. Next on the list, Kilo Juliet 5 Tango. Steve, I believe.
Well, good evening. I think it's N5TXR running the net there.
Yeah, this is Steve over here in Northwest Austin. Just checking in for the count. Was over here playing some FT8, and then I looked at the time, and I said, "Well, I'll get on and see what's happening." So just listening in, and still getting to know everybody in the club. I joined the Slack channel the other day, so lurking in there, and hopefully I'll make it to a meeting virtually when it happens. That's about all I have for the net, so I'll send it back to Net Control. This is KJ5T.
All right, Steve. Yeah, and by the way, Travis was saying I was trying to have some competition with Jake. Well, I'm not. I'm not doing that at all. In fact, I find that the better nets are the ones that have the most content, and that's what I'm driven by, good content. Well, Steve, I know you said Northwest Austin, but so are you coming in on the 320, or are you got 900 capabilities? What's your story over there, man?
Yeah, I'm on the 3.2. I'm running about 20 watts with an indoor mag mounted antenna. It's on a thick piece of metal on a shelf, so it seems to work. You guys sound fine, and I listened to my audio recording from last week's net, and it sounded like my audio was okay. So pretty surprised about that. But yeah, I'm over here off of 620 near 2222. So not that far northwest, but definitely not close by to the repeater.
Well, it's doing a good job. You're in there really good and strong, no issues. So I wouldn't be out there building no towers in the near future. But appreciate you checking in. Anybody got anything for Steve out there before we move on?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, first of all, hi, Steve. Name here's Ray, K5BZI. And yeah, man, if you're up there at 620 and 2222, then I mean, you're likely almost as high as the antenna of the tower. So that metal plate and mobile antenna is doing you just fine. So you're full quiet, and in fact, a little overdriven actually. So you don't have to get so close to the mic. You sound great, man. So anyway, back to net, K5BZI.
Well, let me flip the mic switch and see how that sounds, if that's any better. There's a couple of different settings on this Yaesu microphone. It's KJ5T. Thanks for the welcome, and yeah, I'm on a third floor, so it does help. I've got a little bit of height, and the repeater sounds good here. So the repeater's doing a great job. Back to net control.
Yeah, Steve, it made a big difference. You could just go up a little further on the mic now, but it did make a big difference on what they used to call deviation. But either way, it's sounding good, and appreciate you checking in. All right, last name I got on the list on this second round, Kilo Bravo 5, Mama Papa Juliet. Jason down there in the Southland. You still with us?
Yeah, this is KB5MPJ. Yeah, on SwapNet, I think it's a good idea. Might also be a good idea to allow people to mention that they have an item for sale or are interested in it during regular check-ins, but not allow discussion of it until the SwapNet. And then maybe people, it might pique some interest for people to stay around for the SwapNet at the end of the net to talk about the item. So that's pretty much what I have regarding SwapNet. Back to you, Net Control.
That's about how I was thinking about it too. I'm glad you said it, and I got you down. Well, the yays way outweigh the nays, so we'll come up with a way to incorporate it, and I appreciate it, Jason. Anybody got anything out there for Jason?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Can't help myself, man. This net's full of friends. Hey, Jason, good to hear from you, man. You're sounding great on Tuesday nights. If you chimed in this week, I'm sorry I missed out, but you sounded great last week, man. Your new antenna's rocking it. And I agree. I like that idea. It didn't occur to me to drop a hint during check-ins that you might have something for the swap net. That's a great idea. So I'm all about that. And I think I think we should do the first one tonight. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Ray. Glad to hear I'm sounding good on Tuesday night. Yeah, I've got a new antenna and feed lineup. So, yeah, good to know that that's working well. Back to net control.
All right, Jason, appreciate it. Well, Ray, if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to, but that phone call I got a minute ago was my wife wanting me to come help her get in the house. I don't know, y'all don't know, but she can't get around too good. Needs my help. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do it. And that was our last check-in. But I will put it out there after I make this ID. This is N5TXR on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net. Anybody else want to check in on the final round of the net tonight?
The Kilo Golf 5 Golf Delta Victor checking in.
I'm sorry, I was still keyed up, and give me that again, please, sir.
Kilo Golf 5 Golf Delta Victor. Kilo Golf 5 Golf Delta Victor.
KG5G Delta Victor, correct?
Correct.
And give me the name, please.
Name is Yu Cheng. Yankee Uniform Charlie Hotel Echo November Golf. I'm from China.
Yeah, I think we spoke before, and I don't know the best way to pronounce it. We always say, what was it Mikey was saying? Yo Chung.
Oh yeah, that's pretty accurate actually. Yeah, Yu Cheng is my name.
Yu Chung. All right, I'll get it, man. Well, I'm glad you could make it tonight. Anybody else want to join in on the last round?
I5 KET.
K6KZO.
All right, hold on a minute. Give me the KI5 first.
KI5 KET. I'm brand new.
And it is Kilo Item 5 Kilo Alpha Tango. Am I correct?
Roger.
And give me the name, too.
Bruce, BRUCE, Darling, DARLING.
Well, that's the first time anybody did that, but yeah, I'll just write down Bruce and remind everybody I'm doing this with pen and paper, so, and especially when it's somebody I'm not used to talking to. Anybody else?
This is K6KZO.
K6KZO. All right, got that. Anybody else?
WZ5BBS. Hey, Sammy, Raker wanted somebody to relay him in off of Slack, so if you could check in W4WWW.
W4WWW is checked in via Slack. All right, anybody else? Alrighty, we'll check again here in a minute.
Leslie in the house.
Even though the wife is at the door, I got her. I'm watching her on the camera and making sure that she doesn't fall down or something while I'm talking to you guys. All right, on the next list here, we got Jason. Next is Yuchung, KG5 Golf David Victor. How are you doing tonight, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, it's been a while since I joined the net. Miss you guys. Does the club have any activities going on?
Well, besides the net, nothing right now. We can't even do a live meeting, so we did our last meeting on Zoom, and it worked out pretty well. And we are going to continue doing our quarterly meetings on Zoom. And other than that, Winter Field Day is a long way away, but that will be the next thing.
Okay, roger that. Thank you so much for the information.
Yeah, and I haven't heard of anything else coming up, local-wise. Even the swap net, the one at Belton has been postponed, and so is the one up at Georgetown. Everything's off the docket for right now. All right, anybody got anything out there for you, Chung?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, I want to jump in, Sammy, and say if you need to jump out, I can pick up his backup if you need to.
No, I'm watching her, man. I'll see if she needs any help, and she knows what's going on. So, if need to, I'll let you know. Thank you. Let's see. Next on the list, KI5KAT. Bruce, I think you said. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for joining. And just to let you know, we do this every Thursday night, and it's a good way to, as they say in the corporate world, network with people here on the net and see what everybody's into and find out stuff or maybe even pass along knowledge and all that good stuff. And I'm glad to hear you new guys are showing up. It may be a different guy, but we do this every Thursday night, 8 o'clock.
And my tech exam on Sunday, and got my call sign 2 days ago, so I'm just checking in with things.
All right, Bruce, well, I double with you a tad bit there. It's no big deal, but welcome, and jump on anytime. Anybody out there got anything for Bruce?
Well, I have a question.
K5BZI again.
I
figured as much, Ray. Go ahead with your question, Bruce.
Yeah, I'm doing an antenna check right now. I just put an Avery 28.5 inch antenna on this HT. And I'm curious what the reception is like.
Well, tell me what part of town you're in and what repeater you're using.
I'm coming in off of the Oak Hill repeater, and I'm in South Austin, very close to Convict Hill, right at the Dick Nichols Park.
Well, I'd say it's working pretty well. It's you're pretty close to full quiet, and I believe Ray had something for you. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, first of all, hello, Bruce. Good to meet you. Ray here at K5BCI. And the previous station, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name. I caught it, but I don't remember it, so I'm not going to try to say it and destroy it. So I just want to mention, if you guys, Sammy answered my question with Bruce where he was, and Bruce, if you're at Dick Nichols, you should be able to join us pretty easily, even on an HT, on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. at Southside Simplex on 146.555. Those of you who just may have joined us late, I plugged it earlier, but I'll plug it again. We are on Simplex on 146.555 on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., so join us on Simplex. Over to you, Bruce. Think you might be able to make it in?
Thank you. I look forward to that.
And Ray, the other station was Yu Chung. You've heard him on the repeater before. I think he works at NXP, and he may be an Aggie, but I'm not sure about that.
Yes, I'm Aggie, class of 2016.
All right, well, we'll let that slide. I've got some Aggies in the family. Eat 'em up, cats. I'm a Texas State grad. And maybe we'll hear you on Southwest Simplex as well, man. Good to hear you. And yes, I have heard you, Chung, and good to hear from you again. Back to net, K5BC, I quit.
I just thought I had to throw that in there. All right, this is N5TXR on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Next on the list, Kilo 6 Kilo Z Oscar Alonzo.
Hey, Sammy. K6KZO here, Alonzo, coming in from South Austin on the flagship 320 repeater. Yeah, just wanted to say hello to everybody. Had a really good time at the Southside Simplex this weekend. Like Ray said, encourage anybody to join. The Zoom aspect is really awesome. I'll let it drop here for a second. It's really cool to be able to, catch up with everybody, even those who aren't in the south part of town, so that's a lot of fun. I think that the SwapNet is a good idea, and the last thing, Sammy, if you need help with that website, feel free to just shout out. Be happy to help there.
Oh, you've done it now. Well, any help is welcome. And I think I told you before, it's a WordPress site, but we just need a little group to keep an eye on it, do a little bit of editing here and there, do some other things, And now that you've said it, you're in deep now. So just remember that. Anybody got anything for Lonzo out there? All right, appreciate it, man. And we got the unheard, invisible W4 WWW Raker. Got him at the bottom of the list. Now let me check and see if anybody else is out there, been wanting to check in and couldn't get to the mic or whatever it might be. Anybody else want to check in? All righty, we'll do it one more time. This is the Thursday Night Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Net. We do this every Thursday. You just can't get away from us on Thursday night. So if you needed the time to go to the fridge or whatever and you're back, this is your final chance to check in on tonight's net. Bring a call sign down.
N5OAK, what time do you start?
Starts at 8 o'clock, and we join in with the KA5D system at 10 minutes till. So from 10 minutes till, we're connected till like 10:30 with his system as well. But it starts every Thursday at 8 p.m.
Look forward to it.
All right, anybody else want to check in or got any questions or comments or observations? All right, man. Well, I appreciate everybody coming. And I know it's not as great as being part of a Jake net, but, a little bit of variation is good for us all. So between Jake and Ray and myself and a few more people, there will always be a Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. And with that, I'm going to close this net and return this repeater system back over to normal. I put an underline under that. Amateur radio traffic. 7-3, everybody.
That was a pretty okay net there, Sammy. K5BZ, I'm just kidding. That was great. Thanks again, Sammy.
Well, I strive for okay. Now tell me about this amp, man. Well, you know the old saying, if it sounds good, too good, you know that, right?